Heather, you know, after watching my hallucinations grow into visual form and then break out of my mind, I've kind of been wondering about the future and what it would mean to be happy. And the truth is I'm undergoing a very layered process where every step brings me a step closer to happiness, I believe. And this has been such a crucial day and that moment of eventual rest for the wicked, you know. I haven't recorded a diary entry in a long time, probably at least a month. I'm sorry about that. I've been dealing with long bouts of depression. Well, and while the issue seems to be fading for the moment, it can always and does always come back. Life has screamed out to me it is potentially the most beautiful thing ever in how it functions. I still have not always found happiness within it. That is simply the truth. Let me go into a few things. I believe that what surrounds me. So this is an interesting point that I want to get into. I believe that the planets are the planets are not coincidental. Now, what I mean by that is that in order for society, for humanity to function, the planets must not be coincidental. Otherwise, they'd only exist as rocks. See, as I believe it's very possible, even likely, that an organization is what created us and set up the planets and all that. It's just they're very hands off until it comes time where you have died. You know? And one thing I want to say about that is that I feel there are probably some planets out there where people have basic income. Because my view on the whole thing, ever since I've connected to to psychic networking, is basically meaning like it's not like a video game or a computer thing or anything. Because their minds are the computers already, so it is a computer thing. But the thing is if your perspective can spot waves, basically meaning there's sort of like waves that work within the realm of the audio thought. So when hearing something, except they're in the background, you don't notice them. But then those waves capture you and make you feel some type of way. And the point of becoming a psychic is to fight against the waves in order to regain your true self. But then that's backed by corruption. The massive corruption that surrounds us is boggling. And the big thing I want to say about that is that I believe there is like a nefarious element to the creators of Earth. Now, in my moments of doubt and in my moments of hopefulness, I grew to want to like these creatures. And when things were purely in schizophrenia form, I kind of love life more in some ways, even though I love life less in others. I drown myself in drugs a lot more. A lot of my happiness wasn't really natural, right? I did alcohol every day. I did pot every day. But it made me delusional. It made me sorrowful. I forgot what I was talking about earlier. I kind of don't really care. That's another thing, okay? Is if you assume that there are things that can affect us and there are things that can worsen us, right? Then there are things that can worsen us. And I believe that if you become a psychic, you kind of have the capability of protecting yourself. But what would it mean to really protect the planet, you know? Would it be possible at all? Then you think, I think to myself, well, what have I been going through in the last 2 years and a half other than protecting myself and in that process gaining access to a planet? I'm just gonna put it bluntly. I sound like I'm a maniac who doesn't know what he's saying, and I feel it deep in my heart that I'm telling the truth regardless. But I sound like a maniac, right? So I'm telling you, I have access to this planet. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean at all? And this is where you either have a really open mind or you think I'm crazy. What if we are all, at some point in life, in infinite life, okay, we are all originators of our own consciousness. Basically meaning we originated our own consciousness in space and time in order to have beautiful lives, okay? But the point of it all is that you hallucinate the truth and everything around you, right? And the thing is that you think to yourself, well, then the hallucination must go the whole way. And I mean beyond like the perception element, beyond what you see, what you feel, what you know. The hallucination must go the whole way, okay? What does that mean? If the hallucination really went the whole way, that means that hypothetically deep down there's something in you that completely understands the universe, for example. And there's something in you that completely understands other lives and so on, but how is there more than one of that on a planet? I don't say it out of egotisticality, because then the thing is that then the elements crash. It's not formatized as well. I believe we all work on a host mind. And I could actually be it. And the thing is I do not say it out of maliciousness or braggadociousness or it's proclaimed that I'm more important than I really am. I feel I'm a very important guy to myself. I feel I have an important mindset and perspective, but I'm not important to society, right? I'm not making that point. The thing is that what if like we all start in a space where we have the capability of like creating a nerd, but in that process you can maybe like how do I put this? If the earth runs through the fabric of the perspective, that means when the perspective awakens, the life awakens, right? Now, what problem does this put into motion? Well, namely that there were lives before I awakened, of course. But the thing is, right, is that I want you to consider something. What if people can be on their own? What if people can see on their own? What if people can hear on their own and so on? I'm not making the claim of otherwise. I want to clarify one thing. Just because I'd be a hallucinated being doesn't mean you are too, but I believe that being a being that hallucinates himself is such a unusually abnormal thing that it must be extremely rare. But the thing is I also only literally believe that there can be one. Life being completely visualized, okay, means that there is a mind that other people work off of, but what if it is to correlate information? What if it is to discern truth? What if it is to see color? What if it is to see patterns? But that doesn't mean that just because people would see that through a host mind, it doesn't mean that they don't have their own way of being, their own way of thinking. It just means that they're relying on the host mind to access that way of that way of thinking or that way of being or so on. It still works within their own selves. But the point I'm making is that what if in another reality someone else is the hallucinated being, and in another reality someone else is the hallucinated being, and in another reality someone else is the hallucinated being, okay? And I am the one out of like 50 that actually awaken, that just wake up to what they're going through. You know, I've always argued on this channel that there's a chance that something miraculous happens with me and with yours and with people, and that we live a hella long time as a direct result of that, and that we grow more happy and so on. Why would I be saying these things, right? Because they're positive statements, they're optimistic statements, but what if there's actually coded literature to life? Which is what would allocate the mind to create the planet. So if you think about it, everything should have a coded framework, right? That's because coding is, in essence, coding is anything that is sustained by programming. So it means that if you assume that we're computerized and that our minds are computers, right? It means that, you can make something appear off of the basis of coded literature. So, of coding, of creating a discernible language which doesn't operate within the framework of the conscious physical mind, although maybe it would be possible, but it would be significantly harder, because I believe that our noggins are a million times more advanced than we are because they are computers, right? Like, the thing is I want you to think, okay, if there's one human colony out there that has lived for like 6,000 years, but eventually you learn things, you know, like, if you create a full-on immersion virtual reality kit, then why can't you create infinite realities? So I want you to really consider that. I'm just really like, for some reason, I'm overjoyed right now. It's like I'm really happy. And I'm just, yeah. I think I'm gonna try to stay strong, and I feel a lot better. You know, I feel like I connected to my brain matter in a really weird way. Like, it sounds weird because brain matter is kind of inherently in the mind, but I think we run on our perspectives and our perception a lot more than we think we do, right? So yeah, or at least I am that way. Now that I've made the differentiation. And the point with being a creator thing, right, is that, well, the creator of your reality, right? The point with that is that maybe there is a kind of like a structured organization that owns us all. But then again, maybe I'm making something bigger out of things than what is really there. I just know that some ideals have been presented to me that have been inconceivable. And I've been through a journey that has been inconceivable. I haven't climbed Mount Everest or anything. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't be able to do something so daring as to climb a mountain even. The point I'm making is that in due time, maybe, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to skip that. Because the schizophrenia is really adapting to its memory constriction measures. It worsens me. It proves to me that like you're losing your memory, losing your mind. It's all an automated adventure. It all exists within coding. Coding is preemptive, okay? That means the code is laid down and then it is applied and then we live our lives. That means our lives are completely predicted. I wholly believe this to be true. It's quite a fascinating notion, isn't it, for lives to be predicted? Yet it is an awfully scary notion as well. Anyways, I'm gonna go and I'm posting this to YouTube. I'm convinced this is like my breakthrough or something. But yeah, thank you and take care. I love you. Bye.